Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun video we are back in the model train and nostalgia room. Now the last couple times we were in here we have looked at retro video games, but this go around we are going to once again be looking at model trains, more specifically HO scale model trains that I like to run on the model train table that the camera is currently sitting on. Now it's been 2, 3, maybe even 4 months since we looked at the model train table. I'm very happy to bring it back over here onto the channel. I still run the model trains, just not as much as I normally do because of the busy summer schedule and being out and about and trying to be active and everything. But the last time we looked at a model train set, we looked at the 95th anniversary of the Texaco Havoline Motor Oil Company. You can see it there on the shelf. I've got the whole consist lined up there. I really like how that looks, you know, when you can display the whole set together. This go around we're going to be looking at not a full set, but some additions to a set. If you guys remember 2 or 3 years ago, I showed you the HO scale Circus Train that I had in its current condition that I picked up at the train show at the Mebane Train Display. You guys know I am a member of the Mebane Train Display, and that's where these additional pieces to the set came from. We had a new guy by the name of Jim join our group. He joined in winter of last year, early winter of this year, and he just fit in, you know, so cool. He had a bunch of knowledge bringing it in, and he started working on the layout, doing the landscape and everything, and just eager to learn and eager to help out, and I'm happy to now call him my friend. So really cool. But of course, up the Mebane Train Display, everyone uses the bigger O-scale model trains. You know, Lionel, the bigger, more detailed one. They have the sound systems, they can puff smoke, and all of that cool stuff. But he brought a box of HO scale stuff, and he said whoever is into HO scale stuff can have it. And in the box itself was additional pieces to the Circus Train that I showed you guys in a previous video. If you guys missed the original video, I'll have it linked down in the description box below this video to where you guys can go see it run how I originally got it, if that makes any sense, and you can see it in today's video running with the new cars added to it. But in the stuff, he had another HO scale car for the Circus Train. We already had one of these. One of the couplers was broken, but I did get it fixed. So now it can be coupled to the train consist and go down the tracks happily. And one thing that I didn't know with the other one I had, try to pop it apart here, I did not know that these had lit interiors. You can see that the bulb is not there, but it does have the wiring mechanism to where it can be lit up. The other HO scale coach for the Circus Train, I've already got it on the train table itself. It did not have all of the wiring capabilities for it, but I'm happy to know that these did illuminate and glow so you could run them at night. So that's really cool. And then I also got an HO pulling power lifelike trains. This is new old stock. It's never been taken out of the box. You can see it's got the 2 circus cars there. I already had one flatbed with 2 of the circus cars on it, and I've got the flatbed on the train empty right now, and I've got the circus cars at the local Klingspor woodworking shop on the model train table, because you guys know Klingspor likes to do anniversary events and store anniversaries, so I figured it would look cool with the circus cars that I already had set up by Klingspor. But as you can see here, there is 2 additional ones in a nice red color there, and they even have some small animals in them. What we will do is get this open, potentially for the very first time ever. Get it out of its box. It's got some styrofoam here. Oh, really, really cool. Yes, I can tell this has never been handled. Set that aside. And they are not locked in place, so I got to be careful here. Really, really cool, really highly detailed. Again, new old stock, so I'm going to be happy to hook this up to the Circus Train and let it go down the tracks. Now, I did get a 3rd additional piece when Jim gave this stuff away, and I got a little HO scale trolley. I had never had one in HO scale. We have one up at the Mebane Train Display. We have a few of them, and what they do is they will go up and down a single piece of track, and they have these little bumpers in them. I don't know if the HO scale one has them, but the O scale, the larger ones, once it got to one end, it would bump and it would reverse, go the other way, bump, and then go the other way and just go up and down like it was going down a trolley line. That's what these are intended for. But you can see this says Main Street. It has the number 65 on it. And unfortunately, this does not run, but I'm happy to have it with the model train collection and have it displayed here on the shelves. But what I'm going to do now is get what I have shown you, the coach and the car with the animals on it, on the track. We'll get power on the train table and see everything running for the next portion of the video. my friends, is going to about wrap it up for this edition of the Model Train and Nostalgia Room. Hopefully you guys enjoyed being back in the room as much as I did and bringing the video to life over here on the platform as we added some more additional pieces to the HO scale circus train. Once again, if you guys missed the original video, I know it's been maybe 2-3 years ago since I posted it over here on the channel where we originally looked at the HO scale circus train. Please go back and view that video. It'll be linked down in the description box below this video. And I also want to give a special thanks and shout out to my new buddy Jim up at the Mebane Train Display for giving me those additional pieces to the HO scale circus train, as well as the little miniature trolley. Hopefully that will be up and running if it is able to be fixed and repaired and brought back to running form. But I'm really happy to add additional pieces to the HO scale circus train. It was always a train I was fascinated with back in my youth because it was just always a fascination for that whole consist of people. I'm trying to word it right. Consist of people, the crew, the animals, the suppliers, the people that built the big top tent, all to get on a train and go from city to city to city. I'd actually like to have a few more of the coaches and a few more of the animal cars, because again, it was like moving a little miniature city when you moved the circus from town to town to town. I actually watched a short documentary style video on the history of the Ringling Brothers circus train, and that was very fascinating, you know, how the people actually lived on the train when they went from city to city. And that's just kind of what runs through my mind when the train is going down the tracks. And again, I thank my buddy Jim for supplying me with those additional pieces. It means the world to me. Thank you for that, buddy. And as you've seen in the video, the 2 flat cars were empty. The 1 flat car, the original one that I originally showed, the one with the green carriages, that one will actually fit under the clearance of the stuff I have for the trains to go under. When I put the new one on there, as we unboxed it in today's video, the train bumped into, the carriages bumped into the low silos on the loop that it was on, so I had to take them out. But I did put them on display at the local Klingspor woodworking shop, just like I had the other ones. The new red ones are now there with the green ones. And the reason I done that is because Klingspor always goes above and beyond when they do a store anniversary or a celebration. They always bring out the A-team and knock the events out of the park. As you can see here, I've got my appropriately flavored fall pumpkin spice coffee, in my Klingspor coffee cup here. Very flavorful and a good cup of joe to sip on while the trains are going down the track. But again, as the Model Train and Nostalgia Room continues to evolve and more ideas bounce around in my head, I'm happy to bring you guys along for the ride as long as you guys want to continue seeing it. Again, as I said at the beginning of the video, the last time we were in here we were looking at retro video games, but now we are back looking at trains. And when I take the circus train off of the tracks, it will of course go on a shelf here. I love seeing the whole train consist, you know, on proud display. I've got my Canadian Pacific coaches there. I've got the Texaco train there. I've got the Boy Scouts of America train there. And now I can have another shelf with the circus train on it. And of course, when the Amtrak train is not running, I had it on today's video. When it's not running, it of course goes on a shelf as well as I swap things around. And anytime I have a friend or relative come over that wants to see the trains running in the model train room, if they look over here and want to see a specific train going down the tracks, I will of course take it off the shelf, put it on the train table, put power to it, and it can get a few laps and stretch its wheels, so to speak, and people can see it going down the tracks. But again, this is still a fun room for me to come into and relax in, especially now that it is getting cooler and crisper as we are transitioning into full fall, and soon it will be winter, so you know I'll potentially be spending more time in here. So I can come in here, put some trains on the track, put on some good music if I want to over the noise of the trains, or I can sit over here in my chair, check the social media feeds, keep up with my friends and loved ones and everything, or sit there with a good comic book or a good book and read some articles and everything. So it's just a fun and cool room to relax in, and it's just an easygoing vibe that I am going for. But again, I hope you all enjoyed the video today back in the Model Train and Nostalgia Room from start to finish, and hopefully you've seen something new on the model train table. I know one of the other additional features was this HO scale Ferris wheel that I picked up at the Mebane Train Display. They had a big donation, and I was able to select this out of the donation bin here. And of course, anytime we get a donation like that, we put a little cash donation to the Mebane Train Display to take up for the donation we got. I hope that makes sense. So I got an HO scale Ferris wheel. I've just got it sitting on the table. I don't know where it would properly be represented. I've just got it over there by the houses. And also a carnival cotton candy stand there in the HO scale format. But again, it's always fun just to let the imagination run wild here. As you guys know, if you've seen other videos in the model train and nostalgia room, I've got a lot of the buildings and the businesses themed to stuff from my childhood that brings nostalgia for me. Of course, I have the local lumber yard, I have the sawmill, I have Clingsford Woodworking Shop, I've got the local diner that we like to go to. Of course, it wasn't supposed to be that. I've themed the stuff to how I see it, again, in my mind's eye. And that's one thing I really love about model railroading, is how you visually interpret the layout that you want to build that is in your mind and in your imagination. The only limitation with model railroading is your imagination, and it continues to fascinate me. That's going to be about all for this one. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you'll click that subscribe button and also follow me across all my social media feeds under the Artisan Pirate name. As always, links to contact me as well as all my social media feeds will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one, and remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you guys. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.